welcome back to another video, and I for one am super excited about this one. Some of you have noticed in my recent videos that I've been working in our new bar and kitchen area, and we've had lots of lovely comments encouraging us to do the big reveal. So finally I've nailed Stephen down. He's not 100% finished as he keeps telling me, but there's no better time than tonight. The weather is absolutely glorious, so there's no better time than tonight to show you guys around the whole outdoor kitchen and bar area.
Well, it's been a long time coming. It's been about 8 months since I started this. We've had a few mishaps in between, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. But as you can see, when I say it's only like 90% finished, we've still got all the ridge tiles to go on the corners on the roof there. The outside's structurally finished other than that. So as soon as we get them on, when we get to some few days of nice weather, then that'll just be that finished. So we'll start inside and show you around. So when we moved in, this was a fully open fronted inside building. There was nothing on. The roof was on, but it was just had 4 posts or so, and it was just all open fronted, and they had an old coal bunker in the back corner there. So originally I cladded this and I put 2 windows in it, so it was fully cladded, and it's been used over the years for all sorts. We've raised chicks in there, we've stored wood, coal, just junk, and we just decided we wanted to do something a bit more permanent with it. So this is what we come up with. So we'll go inside and then we'll see what's in there. Right, so in the entrance bit here, this is just basically for the dogs. I've created 3 rooms in this building. So this is just for the dogs. When we go to work or whenever we go out for a few hours or whatever, we put the dogs outside and they can just live in here. They've got the little hatch there to get in and out. So we just keep the door shut, keep the bar door shut, and they just have this area here. Needs a bit of a tidy out, but like I said, 90% finished. This is just a hatch that I built for a bit of security for the front of the bar. We'll show you that later on. So now let's check out the bar. Right, so this was my idea for this build. Tracy didn't want any of this, so I'll take the blame for all of this. We ummed and ahed for ages what we wanted to do with it, and I drew her through things up on some paper and passed them to the office to see what see if the plans were passed. We spend a lot of time outside and we like a drink, so why not build one? So I'll just run you through what we've done. All these is just second-hand scaffolding boards. We paid a tenner each for them. I think we used 15 in total. So that's just made out of scaffolding boards. All these shelves here are all scaffolding boards. The walls were just pallets that I took all the lats off. I left these on for a bit of effect that were printed on the pallets. So we just cladded all the walls in pallets, which cost us nothing. We just picked them up from here, there and everywhere. So these mirrors here are just 2 sliding wardrobe doors with a join in the middle. I've just glued them to the breeze block wall that was on the back there, and I've just covered up the join with this scaffolding board shelf. We didn't want it to look like too much like a bar, modern bar. We wanted more of a rustic hunter's cabin type look. That's why we've finished it off with the skulls and the shooting memorabilia and things like that. So when we were talking about it, that was the type of vision we were going for, like a country rustic hunter cabin type feel, and I think we've pulled it off with scaffolding boards and pallets. So as you can see, we're well stocked in alcohol, but this is the type of stuff we like to drink, but we can't sustain doing that all the time, so we're going to move away from that. So this is all our home brewed stuff at the minute. So this is our cherry brandy on that side. These are our cherry brandy infused cherries, which are absolutely gorgeous, either covered in chocolate or on ice cream or on anything, even just straight out the jar. Lovely. And then we've got some Damson gin in these 2, which was last year's. And then over here we've just got mocktails for the kids, water, juice. And then further over this side we've got last year's strawberry gin, and these are oranges in Damson gin. So all that's ready to go at the minute. Down on this shelf, while we were splurging now and treating ourselves, we got a little coffee machine. So this is where we do our tea, coffee and hot chocolate or stuff like that. Underneath is just where we keep all the toasty maker, the instant pot, the slow cookers, and Tracy just put this in while we're using this outside the air fryer from out the kitchen, but that'll be going back in when the winter comes. On this side, we just put a gas griddle in. It's just a 3-burner gas griddle and a 4-ring gas hob. So like I said, it is only 90% finished. I've just put this shelf in the other day just to put the sauces on. I've got another shelf to go up there. So 90% of our time now is eating out here, really. So that's what we originally built it for. Tracy wanted an outdoor eating area, cooking area, which a lot of the cooking will be done outside. I'll go out and show you that in a minute. But like I say about not being finished, so underneath we're going to put some like cloth curtains underneath just to hide everything and make it look a bit more tidy. But we just keep adding stuff here and there and everywhere. And now I'll go outside and show you Tracy's favourite bit. Before we go outside, there is an extra room here, which is our storeroom, where we keep any produce that comes in out the garden or dried food or other stuff like that. But that's still under construction, so we'll show you that when it's finished. So let's go outside. Right, out here we were also going for the country rustic hunter cabin type look. So everything out of here is just made of rustic wood. This bar wasn't supposed to be a bar like this, but there was originally an old septic tank under here with a big concrete slab on it, and it was too low for the bar, so we've just raised it up with a bit of decking. These are our old stools out of the kitchen, which we used to have at the island, which we don't use anymore, so they got brought out here. We've got the jukebox, which Mark, our neighbour next door, shout out Mark, he gave us that for the bar. Then we've got our dartboard, which we spend too much time on at the minute, trying to beat each other. Little shelf there for our drinks and chalk. And then down here, just a bit of memorabilia on the wall. That's Tracy's uncle brought that up when we first moved here, that side. So it was in a bad way, so I just cleaned that up and we just use that as ornament. Also with the bellows as well, he brought us them, so we just keep them out here for stoking the fire up. All this is just again scaffolding boards just to block out, that's like the neighbours behind there, so that's just to block that out. And this old bench was my workbench in my workshop, which Tracy took a liking to and ended up out here, but it fits in well and it's used all the time, so it works great out here. We've brought all the cast iron out from inside, from in the kitchen, which we use to cook on out here over the fire. We got this from Aldi, I think it was on offer about £35, and we've used it loads of times and it's brilliant really. So we do use that. We don't know what we're going to do permanently out here for cooking outside, because we've still got that. We've got the charcoal barbecue still, so we are using that up to now. And we've got plenty of logs and plenty of kindling, which makes it ideal to use that because it costs us nothing to cook. Just a bit about the actual building itself. It's mainly 4 of these pillars. These are 6x6 pillars, and the main beams running into the old building, I think they're 9x3 pillars. So we've got this one sits on the original post of the building, and the one on that side actually sits on the main wall of the building. So it is pretty structurally sound. The main joists running up, I think they're 6x2s, roofing joists. We were going to have it all filled in, but then when I did that, I thought it looked pretty nice as it is. So I was ashamed to cover it up. So we have left it open and it does look good. I did actually get all this structural work done. I got all the roof trusses up and everything. And on the morning of putting the membrane on, I had a bit of an accident, which some of you might know, and I fell off the scaffolding and broke 2 bones in my back. So that was a bit of a delay, a couple of months off before I could get back onto the job. So that's why it took longer than it should have to get it done. But everything's fine, everything's all right now. First time in the kitchen in a week. Getting there.
Steady.
And thank you to everyone who expressed concern. It was really appreciated. So back onto the roof. Eventually, I think we are going to fill in the gaps where the membrane is with some kind of either pallet wood slats to hide that, or some bamboo sheeting or something just to hide the black membrane. But just to get it used, and we're using it, we're just going to leave that for this year. One thing that we couldn't decide on was the floor. Originally we were going to put like a patio down, like the patio we've got down on the outside, but just the expense and the time, and I'd have to get somebody in to do it because that's not my area of expertise. So we just decided, just so we could use it, because all this was just mud, we had to dig about 8 inches of clay out and fill it all back in with rubble. So just to get it usable, we thought for, I think it was 80 quid, was it? 80 quid, couple of ton of this pea gravel, and it works ideal. It's not too harsh on your feet when you haven't got your shoes on, and it's a quick, easy job. And if we wanted to, we could easily scrape it back up and put something else down. However, one problem we have encountered with this, if any stray pieces of gravel get on the patio, our big dog does tend to come out and pick them up and eat them, which up to now hasn't been a problem. So we try and keep it all swept on so she doesn't eat too much, but we just keep an eye on that.
Annie.
When we were planning this, we didn't realise how big of a job it was going to be. At first we were just going to put a little structure up, and then I said, well, what's the point in doing that? We might as well take the whole thing down. And anyway, it turned into what it is now. So costs did spiral a little bit.
Stephen can't do anything small scale. He built us a dog kennel once. I might edit this bit out if he tells me off, but we had a dog in our very first house, and he built us a dog kennel that was pretty much bigger than the house.
We moved in. So we try to keep costs down as much as possible. Like I said, the inside of the bar cost minimal, really. The scaffolding boards were 10 each. I think we used 15 of them. The pallets were free. The shelving for the underneath there, all the worktops, they were free. The mirrors were free.
What's the cost of the lights and the ceiling?
Yeah, I think the lights, well, I think they were from Screwfix. I think you got 10 for about 70 quid. And the plasterboard, what was that? I think that was about 60 quid or something like that. So inside there was pretty cheap to do. We did splash out a bit on the griddle, which was I think 380 quid, and the 4-ring burner, that was the cheapest one Curry's had. I think that was about £90 or something like that,
which is just off the gas bottles. So
yeah, so they just run off the gas bottles. So that's the inside. Don't think that we missed anything out.
Probably.
But on the outside, the decking that we sat on now, I think was £100 to do that. The posts were about, I think they were £33 each for the posts for them. The main expense was the roof, which we didn't realise how much the roof would be. I think the tiles themselves were about £700. The membrane was, I think that was £60, I think. All the joists, to be honest, I couldn't tell you how much they were because I was just going back and forward, getting what I needed. And then I'd run out, so I'd go back and get something else. And in the beginning, we were keeping the receipts, and I just thought, this is going to be too...
I did the first 3 up.
Yeah, this is going to be too much to keep, so I just threw them out. It was just going to be depressing.
But we did sit down and try and kind of get an idea of how much it cost in total, and how much did you come up with?
I think with filling the bar and doing...
that was included in the savings, so we saved to do this as frugally as possible. But as Stephen said, we did want to fill the bar for the first time, and everything's going to get filled with cold tea after that. But so that was included in the price. But what was
I think all in was about £3,500 was all in.
This will be here forever now. So this is our stamp on, or one of the stamps that we've made on this property, and it'll be here forever. And for that price that you can easily pay to go away for a family of 4 abroad, I think it's an absolutely fantastic investment. And considering Stephen is not a joiner or a electrician or whatever the other skills are that you need to build this, I think he's done an absolutely fantastic job.
Well, it's time to get something to eat, and unusually I'm going to be chef for tonight. So I've got a drink, I'm going to get some burgers on the griddle, and we're going to get something to eat. Right, tonight we were supposed to be having double bacon cheeseburgers, but somebody forgot to get the bacon out of the freezer. So we're just having double cheeseburgers instead. We do try and use as much of our own stuff as possible. So we've got last year's pork fat, which we're going to be cooking our homemade beef burgers in. We've got our lettuce out the garden, radish out the garden. Unfortunately, cheese, the onion and the tomatoes aren't ours, but everything else is from the small holding. So let's get the grilling. That is a tasty burger. Well, tea was awesome. We're going to sit here, finish this off, enjoy the last of the evening sun, and get an early night because tomorrow we've got a big job on. So we'll see you then.